Hello there, internet. Receding hairline here, and I got another video for you guys today. And today we're going to showcase some more Naya Feather because we happened to reach Mythic rank with it just yesterday, in yesterday's stream, in the span of 3 streams. And actually, one of them was only 2 hours long. So we're going to go ahead and say 2.5 streams. We have made it from Platinum Tier 4 to Mythic rank, which is basically my fastest, by far, my fastest climb to Mythic out of any season in Magic the Gathering Arena. And the reason we've been so successful at the beginning of the season is mainly due to these 2 decks right here. Elementary Dear Watson is basically the deck that I used to climb all the way from Platinum to Diamond, and Naya Feather, which is what got us from Diamond Tier 3 to Mythic in a pretty clean win streak too. Just very an excellent performance out of this deck, really, and an archetype that I'm falling in love with. I've always loved Feather. Boros Feather really caught my attention, but Mardu was when I really started to fall in love with the archetype, because I love the idea of using Sorin to resurrect Feather and give the archetype its a much needed push towards consistency, because that's one of the weaknesses this archetype has if you only go Boros with it, is that you don't really, like, you bank so much on Feather that if you don't draw Feather in a game, your deck isn't it's so much weaker. And that's been one of the crippling issues that Feather has had in the past, and Mardu tried to patch that up a little bit with Sorin, which, like I said, enables you to resurrect Feather if it gets removed, but that deck is also vulnerable to not drawing Feather, and Sorin, while is a great way to, you know, bring back Feather from the dead, is not Feather himself. Therefore, the deck is still very reliant on drawing Feather to be as efficient as it is intended to be originally, right? But Season of Growth has changed that. Season of Growth gives you a second copy of a pseudo Feather, in a way, in the form of an enchantment that makes it so that if you don't draw Feather, you still have really powerful potential, like, value gain from your low cost instants and sorceries that are self-targeting, right? Season of Growth can enable you to draw a card every time you cast one of these, and if you have more than one on the board, then you're actually gaining card advantage every time you're playing one of these. And if you play something like a Defiant Strike with 2 Seasons of Growth on the board, then you're drawing 3 cards for 1 mana, which is just kind of nutty. Very nutty. Also, combined with the heavy scrying power this sort of lineup has with Season of Growth as primary ability, and also 10th District Legionnaire's ability, you can get through all the lands or all the cards that you don't need and draw very accurately, which is very menacing when you have such an aggressive and potential snowballing tactic as this one. And I don't know, like, on top of the fact that it's way more efficient and it's just better as a deck, it's also just really fun to play, very rewarding, complicated at times. You're kind of, milk down the timer in certain scenarios, but I just really love this deck, man. I love this archetype, and I was playing it in yesterday's stream. I was thinking about, mixing it up and playing other decks, but I just kind of felt like playing Feather again and again. Whenever I would, end the game, I'd be like, I want to play more Feather. I want to play more Feather. And we just kept going until we reached Mythic with it. So from tomorrow onwards, I will be switching it up and playing other decks, because there's still a lot of things that I want to explore with Coreset 2020. But I think, it's worthy to showcase this deck a second time, since it is the one that I used to climb to Mythic with. And I always dedicate a special video for the deck that gets me to Mythic rank every season, right? And it's, for the first time, it's not Grixis. It's something new, so it's exciting in that sense. The sideboard is pretty much the same as before, with the Cindervines for Nexus, Tocatli Honor Guard, which is just an absolute beast, not only versus Walker decks and Dreadhorde decks, but also Elemental decks with Risen Reef. Tocatli can shut that down, and that is a very big asset to have in your sideboard. Leyline of Sanctity for Mono Red. It's just, I love the idea of shutting Mono Red down with this card. Definitely Clarion for a little bit of AoE in general for, swarmy tactics. Krenko for more control-y builds that don't really have board wipes. Basically, most decks that don't run neither red or black, I can bring in Krenko, and it can become a huge bomb versus the opponent, as they don't really have ways to deal with, a shitload of pantless goblins. And that's basically the sideboard right there. So without further ado, I'm going to showcase the gameplay that I had all the way through Diamond, and hopefully you guys enjoy, and you try out Feather yourselves, because let me tell you, it's really fun. And not only Season of Growth, but God's willing, this card has just, it's everything I expected it to be and more. Like the fact that it can be also an asset offensively because of the fact that we can gain protection against a color and thus have a specific unit not be able to be blocked by a specific colored unit can be really key and game winning in many more scenarios than you would expect. And it's just a fantastic card. It's like a dive down on steroids, and you know, dive down is already a good card in itself. So yeah, I love it. We'll definitely be playing some more Feather in the future, but I will be switching it up too. So leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for daily MTG content, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. What decks do you recommend for people with a pretty small collection but a bunch of wall cards? It depends on what you want to play, man. Like, what colors do you like? Is there any particular card you want to play around? That's a very vague question. It's very hard for me to answer just like that, man. You got to put a little bit more effort into it. I'm going to keep it. I've been trying to find a way to contact you. I've made 2 extremely high win rate best of 1 decks. I know you'd love for YouTube, but I do have an email. What are these decks? Okay. Subaru. I'm gonna lead off with the Dreadhorde Arcanist, actually. I could have dropped the 10th District Legionnaire, but... Interesting. Alright, so Ajani is gonna be a thing here. Yeah, I should have done it the other way around. This was a misplay. This was quite simply a misplay. I should have let off with it. I missed out on 2 damage by doing. I was thinking, I wasn't sure what my opponent was gonna do. First of all, he's obviously got the Ajani's Pride Mate. Like, I have an idea what this deck is about, but I don't think he's drawn the right cards. I am gonna play Feather though. Not sure about Gruel Spellbreaker in this deck. Like, I know I say this a lot, but I could have also used some Mood Sprint. But I guess keeping a blocker is nice. I mean, no matter how much health gain he has. We still have blockers. Yeah, keeping Feather as a blocker is just fine. There we go. That's good. That's very, very good. I'm going to keep this 10th District Legionnaire as a blocker instead of using it for the haste. With God's Willing in my hand, like I feel extremely safe, especially considering he's stuck at 2 mana. Like, no matter what he does here, I have protection against it. Ain't nobody got time for that, buddy. Oh, okay. So we obviously want another Reckless Rage because we want to be able to answer the leopard thing, so he doesn't, or the Ajani's primates. Barring that, I don't really think anything else is strictly necessary. Again, I am in a situation in which I think I'd rather have Krenko over... I gotta really think about Gruel Spellbreaker and what he's actually doing for this deck, because it's not much. He's not doing much. Ever. I know that's kind of harsh, buddy, but you really don't do much for me. Hey, Led. How's it going, buddy? I gotta change my follower thing, because ever since I switched my camera over here. Josh with the 5 months in a row. What is... Abomination of a deck. Sorry for interrupting you, lady. Well, it is Naya Feather. It's one of my favorite decks this season, actually. Give me a second. I gotta change... Where the fuck is the follower alert? Oh, there we go. I'm actually gonna mulligan this. That'll work. We want the gods willing. We want we're gonna take out the Samut Sprint. Everything else is good. This deck really likes the London mulligan. Alright, we just gotta hope that we don't get tore down quickly. We are gonna drop off the Season of Growth. He can mortify this. He does have the answer for it. But I'd rather set this up first and try to see if I can draw into a third land. Okay, that kind of makes me want to speed up the whole, you know, answer process. Let's drop the 10th District Legionnaire. I think I'm going to keep that there, actually. Try to bait a block there. My opponent was having none of it. Okay. Oh shit. I'm actually gonna get rid of this now. Alright, we dealt with that. I could try to fish for the removal, but I think my best play is to wait it out, see if he has something to destroy my 10th District Legionnaire, react to it with a God's Willing, and try to get... Because we need another Domree's ambush, basically. Alright.
I march into battle as your champion of justice.
What is that?
Your light will cleave the darkness.
Okay, lifelink. Yikes. If I can't get it, I'm gonna die to the area list. So I basically need to do this. Feather is not what I need right now. I mean, Feather does buy me some time, potentially. But what I basically need is... I'm gonna get Feather. Reckless Rage. Oh, man. Reckless Rage. Reckless Rage is kind of what... Like, that's the thing. Like, I could... Alright, this is what we're gonna do. I gotta play with Certainty. And Certainty is... I have this draw. I can drop Feather to block this, to not die next turn, and I can Reckless Rage to potentially kill it as well. I'm gonna drop Feather. I'm gonna Scry. We don't need another God's Willing. We're going to attack Gideon.
I tried my best.
And I'm gonna call it a turn. I do require a bit more mana to feel comfortable here. He's got 2 cards only though. Okay. Alright, so that's a Gideon. Okay, let's think here for a second. This is gonna trigger this again. But if I can Reckless Rage, no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, if I can Reckless Rage this though. He goes for that on that. Okay, let's let it happen for now.
I will defend the weak at every opportunity. Share in my light.
Lifelink. Alright. Now, I could go God's Willing to protect that, or I could just go Reckless Rage to destroy this. But I think God's Willing may be the play here. I think I like God's Willing. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Fucking beautiful. Let's do it right though. Okay, we want a Collision Colossus. Problem is Collision Colossus doesn't kill this one. That's an issue. All right. Let's you can jump block me here, which is a problem. Well, I'll keep that there. If I Collision Colossus here, I trade with that too, and I just gotta handle this. So this is still a good bet.
Bravery wasn't enough.
Just drop this. We get this back. And now, yeah, let's just discard you. And now, basically, we have God's Willing to protect from that. And Subaru goes down. I repeat, Subaru is down, baby. 2-0. I forgot about that little detail. I'm still gonna go ahead and claim that we won the mental warfare. Because reasons. A bit land heavy, but I'm gonna keep. How long have you played MTG? I played MTG ever since I was a teenager. I played it for a long time. I did stop playing for a good portion of my life though, like my late teens and up all the way up to like my early to mid 20s. Like I had a big break from it. I played other card games. And now, you know, I've been focusing on it purely for like, how long at this point? Right, so turn 3 Phoenix. Unfortunately, Phoenix is a big issue for us. I could drop the Gruel Spellbreaker, but okay, at least I can answer that. The problem is, the Rekindling Phoenix is not something we can answer right now. We actually have, like, no way to deal with it, which is most certainly concerning. What the fuck is up with this auto tap, dude? We're a bit on the clock, but I think keeping seasonal growth is actually the correct play to make here, because that way I can chain it alongside Salmon Sprint and get a bunch of card draw going. That's a threat, though, as always. Let's drop the retreat. Let's play you, and let's fish for Collision Colossus here. Not quite where we want to be. Alright. We definitely want another Reckless Rage. Definitely Clarion could be pretty useful. I don't think we need Gruel Spellbreaker in this matchup. Krenko can be decent as well, but I think I'd rather have the board wipe to be able to stay alive against them. And like I like Gruel Spellbreaker for several reasons versus Gruel. Like, it's a 4/4, it trades well with a lot of things, but I think I'm better off just taking that out and adding in the extra Reckless Rage and double Deafening Clarion. Especially because Deafening Clarion is a good way to finish off, for example, Rekindling Phoenix after I've killed it with like a prior, you know, collision, for example. And it can also enable me to board wipe him with the Land of Our Elves and what was the other two drop? The Thorn Lieutenant. And we'll keep this. We got Season of Growth on curve. I do want to drop it before I play 10 District Legionnaire, even though I miss out on 2 damage from that. I think it's ultimately worth it because of the fact that I'm going to be able to scry every time I play a unit now. And yeah, I may miss 2 damage, but alright. Keep that there.
Busting heads is my bread and butter.
All right.
I'll be back after I've licked my wounds. You'll see.
Keeping a feather in the back is always a relatively useful thing, but I have enough momentum here that if he does resort to that, I don't feel like I need another feather draw here. Because I feel like I have a lot of, you know, power in my hand, and it seems Zekrat Uncle. I kind of feel like I do want Gruel Spellbreaker though, but do I really? Let's do this. What is Leyline for? Leyline is actually for mono red. Because it gives us hexproof and just kind of like shuts down a big part of Mono Red's game plan, which is just zapping you in the face. And I don't know, I really like the idea, so I run it. I'm gonna keep this. It's a little bit land heavy, but it's a hand that actually, like, it works. It's not the greatest for going second, but I do have protection. I wasn't counting on drawing 2 lands in a row afterwards, though, but that's kind of like one of the laws of Magic the Gathering Arena. If you keep a land with a few too many lands, then this is going to happen to you, unfortunately. Now we do have God's Willing enabled for this. Though Nissa could just happen.
Seek shelter in my stewardship. The land fights for us.
I could God's Willing here. Just to scry. Get the pump on this, but more importantly the scry effect. Is that the kind of card that I want? I'm really gonna run out of steam if I do this, but it is gonna pump me up to, like, but it kind of, it enables me to destroy Nissa.
Forgive me.
Do I kill that Skargan Hellkite? I can kill this and then I can go for Domri's Ambush on that. I ran out of juice though. Oh! Oh, baby, there we go. There we go. Whew! I don't know if I should keep this hand, but I will. Katabatic. I'm gonna call you Kata. Kata! And Samurai Bill with the 5 months. Kata with the Prime for the very first time. Thank you guys. I have a couple of Spellbreakers for Nissa and Mono Red deck. Just want to craft a Gruel deck I can expand on and doesn't use too many rotating cards. Well, there you have it. Add Gruel Spellbreakers, add Nissa, and you got yourself a Gruel deck. This is obviously like asking for me to get like shocked, lava coiled, a billion things. That's not what I was expecting, but unfortunately, I need a land, buddy. Ryben with the 2 months. Thank you, man. The problem is Cavalier Thorn can return Nissa, and that wouldn't be as big of an issue if, you know, I didn't struggle with like any sort of like fucking lack of mana. Lacking, like I couldn't even, like I kind of like derp there. Okay, come on. Come on. Come on. How many times do I have to do this, dude? Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Well, we don't get to quite play the game. Ah, man. Holy fucking shit. That's all I'm gonna say. Holy fucking shit. Oh my god, dude.
Magnificent world. Harness the elements.
I know I have to Domri's. Oh my god. I know I have to Domri's ambush. But the question is, do I go for the Defiant Strike? Because I'm due a land at this point, but I have a Scry effect. Like, there's no way I don't draw into one, right? Ah, fuck it.
I must go.
It's funny because we have the God's Willing and everything in our hand. Oh my god, dude, come on. I think the more I demand it, the least I'm just not gonna get it. So, okay, so I'm just gonna return these. I'm just gonna return these and get Feather with God's Willing. This is like the most important combo piece here. Having Feather with protection can mean absolutely everything. So all we need to do is draw into one more source of white mana, so we can combine Feather with... But I mean, to be fair, we could just play Feather on curve now, and we don't have to worry as much about it. There it is, though. Definitely want to Catly on guard. I made a mistake. Well, I actually don't. I don't want to reveal the God's willing. Never mind. We're fine. Because he may be encouraged to go for the entrancing melody now. What if he has lava coil? Well, if he has lava coil, then so be it.
I will protect the virtue of this world. Rise, my elemental friend. We definitely want to Kaliana Guard for the Reef though, so we're gonna take out the Dreadhorde Arcanist. For a couple of Honor Guards, I don't feel like I need 3 though. I think 2 is ultimately enough. He has a Cavalier as well, that's true. We keep. A bit slow, but we got the feather. And we got the mana base for it. All sources of white mana, which is huge, and also 2 sources of red. This hand is very promising, and God's willing just makes it that much better. You just gotta make it a turn 4 without him going too crazy on us. We got the tools, baby. We just need to not have like an insane like Nissa happen. Oh. Turn 3 Nissa could very well happen unless he doesn't have mana. He doesn't have more lands. He doesn't have more lands. Ooh. Ooh. I could Reckless Rage this. Now, there's an argument for going for Reckless Rage on the Leaf King Druid. I stop Nissa 100%. But I think I'm not gonna do it. I can handle a Nissa. And what this enables me to do is to go for Feather and potentially Reckless Rage alongside God's Willing. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I could Season of Growth, but I'm not even gonna mess around with that. Why are you doing this game? Why are you tapping this way? The auto tap is very funny sometimes, and by funny I mean like absolutely mentally deficient. If it had like a mind. This way I kept the mana open with Incubation Druid for God's Willing. Like with Tamiyo and Omniscience, you could just go infinite with that alone, and that's pretty much GG. So I wonder if they had that into consideration when they like The fact that Tamayo goes infinite like that. I kept this hand.
Thanks for the pig content, you beautiful fake Brazilian bastard her.
No less than 3 this time, lady. The pig content. I hope it's the pig god reanimator and not just like that. Let's go with you. On to Paradise Druid, because this enables us to go for the Feather turn 3 and have Feather protected. Ooh.
Even a typhoon begins with a single raindrop.
He wants to go for the plus.
Quell your temper.
Interesting. Alright, I'm gonna drop Feather.
I am humbled by the sky's divine power.
Pretty sure this man has well, he did not like that. That feels a bit premature, but I guess I'll take it. We definitely don't want Gruel Spellbreaker. Instead, we want the Krenkos. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I think he cried uncle a little bit too quickly, but hey, I'm not going to judge. I think definitely Clarion is something else that we could potentially want. Though, honestly, I'm not so sure because it doesn't clear the 4/4s. I'm going to keep it like this. I'm going to keep it like this. To be honest, counters versus cheap spells, counters versus cheap spells ain't the way to go. Yeah. Okay, if we win this, we make it to Mythic. Poggers, send me your energy, please. Mythic with Feather. Let's do this. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. Mono blue is certainly a tricky matchup, though. I'm gonna try to get Season of Growth in, though it depends on what he tries to do, because if he, like right now, I could go for the Collision Colossus, but I'm gonna drop the Season of Growth here. Counter.
There's our feather. Alright, so Mono Blue is trying to tempo us. So let's try to tempo Mono Blue. I'm gonna hit him. See if I can bait something out of him. He definitely has some sort of counter spell here, right? So I'm gonna try to do this. I wanted to try to see if my opponent played a Merfolk Trickster beforehand. That's why I attacked after buffing. I basically want to get into a point where I float much more mana than he does, so I kind of like can combat his low cost, you know, high impact cards with basically the fact that I have more mana available to me, right? There's a lot of there's many different lines of play I could have taken there. I could have like tried to set up the grittier path with Season of Growth. Enough talking! Mythic rank, boys! We sick! We don't care, my voice! I can't, that's all I can do. Fuck yeah. Mythic with Feather. A little bit anticlimactic. Like, the final boss was anything but final. He was in a rush for someplace, I guess. But I'll take it, baby.